Hello everyone. Good morning to everybody. Dear students, you are most welcome in our English YouTube channel, English Literature and Grammar class. Dear students, today we are going to enjoy the famous, lovely poem Lucifer in Hell, which was composed by John Milton. And this present poem, as you know, has been taken from the famous, great, epic Paradise Lost. You know, Paradise Lost is was composed in 10 books in 16, which were published in 1667, and the present poem Lucifer in Hell has been lifted from the book past of Paradise Lost. I have already told you, I have already told you that the main story of the Paradise Lost is to justify the ways of God to man, and there are two types of story. First, fall, fall of fall of Satan's from heaven, and second, the fall of man as Adam and Eve, who were expelled from the Garden of Eden by the God because they have they had made a sinful act by eating the fruit from a forbidden tree, a tree of knowledge. So, past in past book, John Milton describes the fall of Satan and his supported angels from heaven as because because Satan and his followers and follower angels couldn't accept the power and rule of God in heaven. So uh, Lucifer wanted to snatch the throne of God, and because God had given his son the all power, and his son was the second in power and control. So Lucifer was much angry to God, and so with the help of supporting angels, he made a revolt against God, and there 3 days a deadly war was waged between two legions armies, and at last Satan, Lucifer, and his legions were defeated badly by the Son of God, and as a punishment, they were expelled from the heaven, and they were cast out, casted in the hell, which was created by the God as the in the form of prison, and in the hell, Lucifer, who is also known as Satan, Lucifer and his followers were chained, were lay in the lake of fire in the hell. They all were chained by the god, and there Milton also presents a fine description and very um, miserable scene of hell in foregoing lines. So there is darkness all around the Lucifer, and there is the lake of fire from and this is the fire. There is the flood of fire and stormy whirlwind, under which all the bad angels, the fallen angels, were being crushed and overwhelmed. So when Lucifer see all around him, he finds miserable scene everywhere. He seen he views that sulfur is burning there, and the flames from furnace are raising are raising in the sky, and ev- so far as far as he could see, he found he found a miserable and horrible sight in the hell. And so he Satan, we can say Lucifer, feels regret for his miserable condition of his followers, but he is proudy, and he is angel, so he doesn't repent on his act, and what he has done against the goat, he doesn't feel any kind of repent, but he is he thinks that how how he could make free all his flowers from this hell. So when he was thinking and viewing all around him, he finds a angel who is tumbling by his side. He saw him, he notices him, and finds that he was none else but his his supporter Beelzebub, who is next to him in power and command and in crime. So Beelzebub was also fallen beside him, and he was also in miserable condition. So to see Beelzebub, Lucifer feels and says to him, long like this, let's, dear students, let's begin this poem and these lines. Long after known in Palestine and named Beelzebub, to whom the arch enemy and thence in heaven called Satan, with bold words breaking the whole silence, thus began, if thou be he, but oh how fallen, how changed, long after known in Palestine and named Beelzebub. Long after known in Palestine, in these lines, Milton describes about the Beelzebub. Beelzebub was a famous god. Yeah, he was the most famous god of false gods. He was the main leader of false god. Yeah, he was worshipped in Palestine as the main god of gods, and later he was also given the name of as a Beelzebub in Palestine. So Beelzebub was a great powerful demon, and he was worshipped as a leader of gods in Palestine. So Beelzebub was a great and one great angel and god, and he was also he was also given the name of Beelzebub in Palestine, to whom arch enemy and thence in heaven called Satan. And to whom? And arch enemy. Arch enemy means enemy of God, a big enemy of God, and thence in heaven God is Satan. And Lucifer, who is the main arch enemy of God. And Lucifer was called as the name of Satan in the heaven. So Milton clears here both the about the introductory informations about Lucifer and who was Lucifer and who was Satan. So he tries to tells us that Lucifer was the great enemy of God in the heaven, so he was given the name of Satan in the heaven. And whereas the Beelzebub was a one of the big god or on who was worshipped in the Palestine, and he was also a god of false because he was the chief of false gods. So he was given the name of Beelzebub, and so in this way, Milton gives us introductions about the Beelzebub and Lucifer. With bold words, breaking the horrid silence thus began. With bold words, till now, Lucifer, Satan, was viewing the horrible sins and miserable sins silently, which were spread all around him. But now when he found his main supporter Beelzebub, then he breaking the horrified long silence with bold words by saying in bold words, yeah, he addresses the Beelzebub in bold words, and through speaking bold words, he break he breaks the horrified silence, a long silence, a frightful silence, which was pervaded at that time in the hell. He begins his addression to Beelzebub like this: If thou be he, if thou means you, be means is, he means Beelzebub. He is so much surprised to see the Beelzebub in this condition, who is tumbling by his side. So, noticing Beelzebub in this miserable conditions, he is so much surprised. So he says whether he is Beelzebub. But how? Oh, how fallen! But it is the very yet thing of regret, yes, sorrow. How fallen! How, Beelzebub, you are the most powerful angel, and how, and in which way you was cast out from the heaven by the god, and how he has rolling down, how he reached in the hell as a fallen angel, how changed you, how changed you from him whom in the happy realms of light, and how he has changed now. It means Beelzebub, who was second to him in power and in crime. Beelzebub, who in happy realms of light. Once he lived in the happy regions of heaven, and when he lived in the heaven, and now he fell in the hell in this miserable condition. So Milton makes a comparison between the situation, a position, a state of Lucifer, state of Beelzebub before the fallen in the heaven, and after the fallen from the heaven in the hell. So the situation in both places of Beelzebub was was described was being described by Milton, is described by the Milton. In those happy days of heaven, light means heaven, and were clothed with transcendent brightness. Beelzebub, clothed means who was dressed in transcendent, excellent brightness. In when Beelzebub lived in the happy rules of God in the heaven, Beelzebub was dressed in with excellent brightness, and he was so much he was looked so shining and brightly and excellent that he was the most outshined he was most outshined among the angels, myriads, so bright. Although Milton describes myriads means many, so bright. Although rest of the angels were also beautiful and shining and bright, but Beelzebub was most shined and bright angel when he was dressed in excellent clothes, and he lived in the happy regions of heaven. If he whom mutual league, united thoughts and counsels, equal hope and hazard in the glorious enterprises. If he whom mutual league, Lucifer addresses Beelzebub, and he says, if he whom mutual league, once they were best friend, and the mutual league and united their best friendship, united thoughts and their similar thoughts and counsels and their similar opinions and equal hope, and both hopes were equal, and hazard and same types of hazard, all these things united both in glorious enterprises. Glorious enterprises means glorious plans in the heaven. It means Lucifer extend, extends his hand toward Beelzebub, and by he tries to consolate him that once they were best friend, and their same friendship and united thoughts and similar opinions and both equal hopes and risks, all these things has made them best friend, and they were walk hand to hand, and they made their glorious plans. So all these things made them best friend in heaven, and he also hopes that in even the risky time of hell, he they were also they are still friend, best friend, and whatever they will are going to do next in future, they will do by uniting thoughts. So dear students, once I want to clear in Hindi. Long after known in Palestine and named Beelzebub, to whom the arch enemy and thence in heaven called Satan. In these lines, जॉन मिल्टन हमें ये बताता है कि बिल्ज़बब जो शक्ति में, पावर में और क्राइम में लूसीफर से जस्ट दूसरे नंबर पर हैं। बिल्ज़बब फॉल्स गोड्स के सरदार के रूप में पैलेस्टीन में पूजा जाता था, और वहीं पर उसको बिल्ज़बब का नाम दिया गया था। इसी प्रकार से जो लूसीफर था, वो लूसीफर आर्क एनिमी, whom लूसीफर को आर्क एनिमी का संज्ञा दी जाती है, क्योंकि ईश्वर का सबसे बड़ा शत्रु था, और इसी कारण से उसे स्वर्ग में रहते हुए और ईश्वर का सबसे बड़ा शत्रु होने के कारण उसको लूसीफर को सेटन नाम दिया गया। और इस प्रकार से मिल्टन दोनों के नाम और दोनों के स्थान के बारे में हमें जानकारी देता है। साथ ही विद बोल्ड वर्ड्स ब्रेकिंग द हॉरिड साइलेंस थस बिगेन, एंड बोल्ड वर्ड्स और बड़े कठोर और साहसिक शब्दों के साथ लूसीफर शैतान इस जो साइलेंस, जो चुप्पी, लंबे समय से चुप्पी और शांति बनी हुई थी, उसको शांति को अपने बोल्ड वर्ड्स के साथ तोड़ता है, यानी कि वह बड़े निर्भीक शब्दों में अपने दोस्त बिल्ज़बब को संबोधित करता है और वहाँ की शांति को तोड़ता है। और इस प्रकार से वह उसको संबोधित करता है, ये बताओ भी, क्या वो तुम वही बिल्ज़बब हो? क्या तुम वही मेरे पुराने दोस्त और स्वर्ग के पुराने दोस्त बिल्ज़बब हो? ओ हाउ फॉलन। वो बड़े दुख के साथ, आश्चर्य के साथ और दुख के साथ प्रकट करता है कि किस प्रकार से हम लोगों को या हमको ईश्वर के द्वारा नरक में डाल दिया गया है और स्वर्ग से हमारा पतन हो गया है। हाउ चेंज्ड फ्रॉम हिम हु इन द हैप्पी realms ऑफ लाइट क्लॉथ विद ट्रांसेंडेंट ब्राइटनेस डिड आउट शाइन। वो बड़ा सरप्राइज है, क्योंकि अभी स्वर्ग नरक के अंदर जो मिजरेबल कंडीशन है बिल्ज़बब की, उसको देख करके वो खुद आश्चर्य में है कि बिल्ज़बब कितना बदल गया है। वहाँ पर जब वह स्वर्ग की प्रसन्न साम्राज्यों में रहता था, वहाँ पर वह अपने बड़े शानदार चमकदार कपड़े जब पहनता था, तो वो सभी एंजल्स में बड़ा सुंदर लगता था, बड़ा अट्रैक्टिव लगता था। हालांकि मिरियार्ड्स तो ब्राइट, हालांकि दूसरे एंजल भी बड़े शाइनिंग लगते थे, चमकदार लगते थे और बड़े एक्सीलेंट और सुंदर लगते थे, लेकिन उनमें बिल्ज़बब सबसे अधिक सुंदर लगता था। लेकिन वह सुंदर बिल्जबब कि अब आफ्टर फॉलन स्वर्ग से निष्कासित करने के बाद नरक के अंदर कैसी स्थिति हो गई है, ये कितना चेंजेस आ गया उसके अंदर और वह कितना बदल गया है। इफ़ यू होम म्यूचुअल लीग यूनाइटेड थॉट्स एंड काउंसल्स इक्वल होप एंड हैजर्ड इन द ग्लोरियस एंटरप्राइज। इफ़ यू होम म्यूचुअल लीग जो कभी ही ही ईयर रेफर्स टू बिल्जबब। बिल्जबब जो होम जो कभी म्यूचुअल लीग जो जिनकी एक म्यूचुअल अलायंस हुआ करती थी, एक संगठित फ्रेंडशिप हुआ करती थी, जिनकी समान थॉट्स हुआ करते थे, काउंसल्स जिनकी समान विचारधाराएं और राय हुआ करती थी, इक्वल होप दोनों की आशाएं सेम थी और दोनों की सेम एजर्ट्स रिस्क खतरे थे इन द ग्लोरियस एंटरप्राइज और बड़े ग्लोरियस एंटरप्राइज प्लान, क्योंकि उन दोनों का प्लान जो ईश्वर के प्रति विद्रोह करने का था, उस प्लान में उनकी मित्रता ने, उनकी यूनाइटेड थॉट्स ने और उनके सिमिलर ओपिनियंस ने और इक्वल होप और हेजर्ट ने उनको जोड़ने का प्रयास किया था और वो बड़े बेस्ट फ्रेंड थे और दोनों ने मिलकर के ईश्वर के खिलाफ बड़ा डेडली फाइट और युद्ध किया था, वॉर किया था। तो इस प्रकार से वो ये उम्मीद करता है कि अब नरक में गिरने के बाद भी, नरक में डाले जाने के बाद भी, अब भी वह बिल्जबब हार नहीं मानेगा, वह उसका साथ देगा और दोनों मिलकर के वापस ईश्वर से बदला लेंगे। ऐसी ऐसी उम्मीद के साथ वह बिल्जबब की तरफ अपनी दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाता है। डियर स्टूडेंट्स, as you know, this poem is composed in blank verse, so here there is no rhyming scheme. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening. Okay.